how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Usagi Podjimbo podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and let's talk more about Usagi Yojimbo. We are talking about a short story called A Quiet Meal. This is from issue 6 of the Usagi Color Classics line. If you also want to read this, I believe this is in the first trade paperback for the Fantagraphics run. If I remember correctly, it's in there. But in this one, they bundled it in with the Usagi Yojimbo Origins collections. So, yeah, it's a little short story. We see Usagi walking through a field. We don't know where Usagi's going. Usagi doesn't really say much in this particular issue. So, yeah, I love this first page. We see Usagi walking through the field, and you see like the clouds up in the air, all the details in the clouds, the high grass. He's walking through it, and there's dragonflies and a very nice set of flowers in the corner. I love this picture; it's so beautiful, the detail in it. And we see Usagi. He has this little straw hat on, which we don't see Usagi wear quite often. I think this is the first time I've seen Usagi wear a straw hat. But he has a straw hat on to keep the heat probably off his head, and Usagi reaches it in. He goes into the inn, takes his shoes off. We see, I think it's a bear innkeeper. The bear innkeeper's like, hey, table for one. And Usagi points up. He's like, yeah, one. We see the little dinosaur creatures lurking around. I think Usagi's got an eye for these little dinosaur creatures, and I think he wants to play with them. Who knows? We'll have to see from there. But Usagi gets sit down, getting ready for his meal. Nothing too special, and we get this group of I would say ne'er do well hooligans, not hooligans, ruffians, whatever you would call them. But there's about 6 of them. They're coming in yelling, hooting and hollering. And they're like, yeah, we're rich, serve us sake. We need sake all the time. I love sake. You know, there's like a pig, a bear, a goat, a wolf, a cat, and I think another cat. But the main one is this pig guy. And the pig guy is like, innkeeper, hurry up, bring us sake. We got a lot to drink. We're going to drink a lot of sake. We're going to celebrating right now. And you see some people in the background, and they're like, oh no, I'm trying to enjoy my meal. What's going on, and you see Usagi, and Usagi's just getting ready for his meal, and this pig uh, is boasting about his winnings because he's a gambler. They're all gamblers, and they struck it rich, and for they got reasons for merry making, and they're gonna bring us some drinks because we're celebrating, and you can see that the innkeeper is trying to do his best to keep it together, but I really don't think the innkeeper is keeping it together. And one thing I didn't notice before, there's a lot of flies around this pig guy. I think this pig guy is a little stinky. I don't think he's like maybe possibly taking a shower in a while. Who knows? But Usagi stays quiet. You see him putting down his swords, and the poor innkeeper can just does his best to try to keep calm, and he's fidgeting with these cups, trying not to drop all the sake and stuff. And they're like, "Hey, where's my sake? Hurry up! I need my sake. We got to get this sake. I need my sake." I think these people might have a drinking problem. Do you say so myself? Not gonna lie about that, But I mean, I guess there's not much to like entertainment wise within like 19th century Japan. So I guess I can see why all they want to do is drink and party and do all this other stuff. Maybe it's hard. Maybe they had a hard time before this, and they couldn't drink and party beforehand. Uh, but the the drunkards, we'll call them the drunkards, the group of drunkards, they get together and they got their sake and they're like, keep it coming, we got this, give us more. And you see the innkeeper, he's like, okay, would you please keep down the noise, you're disturbing the other guests. And we see them start to get mad and belligerent, and they're like, he's trying to spoil our fun. What who would want to spoil your fun? I mean, come on. But you see the pig guy get in the guy's face. He's like, what are you talking about? Try to spoil our fun. And he's like, you can't do that to us. You can't be a party pooper, that kind of stuff. And then you see like a shot from the outside, from the distance, which I like this little thing that's in here. It made me kind of chuckle, where they're like, throw him out, and you see this little like orangish red 3-headed dragon. It reminds me very much of like King Ghidorah. I think it's King Ghidorah, right? The 3-headed Hydra from Godzilla. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to check and see. But the poor innkeeper gets thrown out, and you hear a thump, bump, ba-thump, And I love how they show motion in this comic, where it's just little lines. That's all you need is little lines. To poor innkeeper. I feel so bad for him. Just trying to run a business, And they're like, that'll teach you. And then you see them. There's this one character you see in the background wearing a yellow kimono. He's like, I just want to eat my food. And they're like, this guy's trying to spoil our fun too. We're gonna throw him out. And they're like, yeah, let's throw him out. You see these people get more belligerent, more drunk. Poor guy gets thrown out on top of the other guy who just got thrown out. And they're like, look, there's another one. And they point to Usagi. And Usagi is just eating some rice, eating his food, And they're like, this is a samurai. Samurai are the worst of the worst. I think they might be wrong in that situation, especially when it comes to Miyamoto Usagi. But they don't know him. So, I guess samurai do have a bad name or at this time, or people think poorly of samurai. I guess of what has happened prior in the past. They're like, stupid samurai. They're starting to surround Usagi, and they're like, we're gonna get him. Your sword doesn't scare me, the pig guy says. And you see them, and they're all pointing and laughing, drinking, and like saying, you're gonna be our form of entertainment. You're gonna entertain us, samurai. And Usagi is just simply eating his food, enjoying his meal like one should be able to enjoy his meal. They're like, dance for us, or we're gonna throw you out like the others. And you see them, and they're like, aren't you gonna dance? We said dance, boy, dance. And you see Usagi take a sip of his drink, put it down, and the pig guy's like, I'm gonna throw you out, and he lunges towards Usagi. And I love this panel of him lunging towards him, and Usagi whips out his sword, and you see him slash the air. It's like zwip, swat, shink, and he just slashes all around this pig guy. Clink, puts the sword back in. I love this. It's so cool. I love this part. Not gonna lie, it's so cool. Where I wasn't expecting this because I didn't see the flies at the beginning. When I first read through this, I missed the flies. And you see the pig guy, and he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" He's acting very confused, and he's very taken back by what happened. He's like, "Ha! You missed. Not a scratch on me. You impotent samurai. You don't know what you're talking about. I'll teach him. I'll teach him to get tough with us. And he's like, come on, fellas, let's throw him out. And then one of them's like, wait a minute. And he starts to point down to the ground, and all we see is Usagi. Usagi, he just wants to pour himself some more tea. And they're like, oh my God, look, the flies have been cut in half. look, this one over here, this one, another one. And like, oh no, like, and they start to go like, like, oh, and they're like start to get concerned. They're like, oh my god, like this person is obviously really good with the sword. Like he could have killed me at any time, And you see them run off, and Usagi is just quietly enjoying his meal, and that's where we get a quiet meal. This story was fun. It was a fun, simple story. Very much felt like a palate cleanser uh, from what came beforehand, with all the samurai and Kappa stuff, and a nice little fun story. Nothing too big or weighty story wise. Just a simplistic story about a rabbit trying to enjoy his meal. I enjoyed this one. It wasn't my favorite out of this book that I've read for the Usagi Yojimbo Origins, but I did enjoy it. There was nothing I hated about it. It was interesting to see uh, other characters, uh, their point of view of Usagi and their opinions of Usagi. That was interesting. I love the whole fly thing, which I did not pick up the first time I read it. I totally missed that the flies were swarming around the pig man the first time. I don't know why I just missed it. But yeah, it was fun. Nothing too big or bombastic about this. That's not gonna really. I don't think it really goes into the whole overarching story of Usagi Yojimbo. Just a nice, simple story that you can enjoy from here and there. Uh, it's silly. It's just a fun little story that maybe might teach you a lesson or two to, hey, maybe not annoy and pick on the rabbit who's trying to enjoy their dinner, who might be a samurai, because he might show you up and be like, hey, don't fucking mess with me, you know. But yeah, and you also see like Usagi definitely has grown uh, in this situation where probably a younger Usagi would have gone for the person, gone after the person. He's like, I'm just going to put you in your place, shut you up so I can enjoy my meal. But yeah, it was fun, simple, nothing too much to write home about. But yeah, this one I do enjoy. I do enjoy it, and yeah. So we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this particular episode. Uh, this one's definitely a short one, not too long. But hope you guys enjoyed. And if you want to give some feedback, write a review, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Helps the podcast grow, helps people find the podcast. And if you want to reach out to me, you can do so on Usagi Podjimbo on Twitter or on Instagram or on my Facebook page, where it's just me and pretty much me and Ed Moore. Shout out to Ed Moore, who followed my page. He is the creator of the Ronin Rabbit podcast. I found him after I started my own podcast, which I hope I didn't step on any toes with that aspect of doing something very similar. I had no idea his podcast existed. I apologize if I stepped on any toes with that, but he joined. He seems like a very nice man, and I started listening to his podcast, and I'll leave a link down to his podcast so y'all can check his podcast out too, because it's a pretty cool podcast. He's been going for years apparently, and yeah. So catch you guys in the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed, and remember, have fun, read some comic books, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace out, and stay safe.